For all the people who have been saying, hey, I'm going to read Malazan next year, what can I expect? This video is for you guys. I have recently finished all 10 very big books, and I want to give a general guide / warning / advice for reading this series, because Malazan is not like any other series I have read, and if I'm being honest, it's probably not like anything you have ever read. If you are used to traditional fantasy where you follow a singular group of people over the plot of several books, if you're used to something like the Wheel of Time, do not expect that when you begin this series, because that is not what Malazan is. And I'm not saying this to turn people off or to tell people that they shouldn't read this series. They absolutely should. But it's important to have the right expectations going into the series. So, what is Malazan? Malazan is like if J.R.R. Tolkien took the Silmarillion and decided to zoom in on a singular conflict for 10 very large books for like 4 million words, if he just chose to do that. And that is what Malazan does, alright? This series is about gods, immortals, humans, and a bunch of crazy races all coming together to essentially fight a war. That is the big picture, right? But each of these books have their own plots, and they interweave into the next, and there are points in the series where you're like, how is this relevant? I promise it is, alright? So here's my just general advice for this series. Number one, and this is the most important thing you can do, is trust the author. Steven Erikson is a brilliant writer, and he knows what he's doing, alright? He knows where he's going with his story, and there will be times where you will be confused. That is not an uncommon feeling. You will want to ask clarifying questions. And I'm telling you right now, the best answer is to read and find out. If you are confused about something and you just need clarification, there are a lot of great resources online to probably clear things up. I can always be a guide for people if you need it. But generally, most questions you will have will be answered. If you need some more clarification, the Malazan community online has been mostly wonderful. There are some people who, like in any fandom, are a bit much, but they will try and tell you generally what's going on without spoiling the book for you. Number two, you have to understand that this was co-authored between two men who were really into D&D. Two men who were really into D&D, alright? There are plot lines opened up in this series behind my head that are not closed within this series, because this is a part of a greater mythos being created. There are certain questions are answered in other books outside the main 10. So if you want all your questions answered, you will probably have to read the entire extended universe, which sounds like a lot, but these are the biggest challenge. If you can get through these, then you're in the home stretch, alright? If you're not absolutely hell-bent on getting answers, unlike me, then you're going to experience a series unlike any other. This series is nuts. I do not think it's nearly as complex as people on the internet have pretended it is, but it is dense. I mean, like, it's dense. It's the only other series I can compare the density to. It's like reading Dune, if Dune were like twice the length in every single book. You will be confused. That's just a fact. And in spite of that, there are a lot of things to look forward to. There are great characters. There is great action. There is great drama. There is this incredible sense of this world that you are getting to experience. The world building and the lore in Malazan is unlike any other. Frankly, I think that this has better lore than Middle-earth. I mean, it is insane how creative Erickson gets with this. And I haven't even read all the lore. I've just read the main 10. And it's absolutely, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it is J.R.R. Tolkien levels of lore that you get to explore in this series. So if you're into, like, kind of figuring out ancient mysteries and you like that idea of a world that feels like it's been alive for hundreds of thousands of years, you're going to love this series. Also, you should probably know that this series is filled with just crazy races. Just crazy, stupid races. You got immortal elves. You got dragons. You got people who can shapeshift into dragons. You got gods, and I mean like Greek style, they come down and they will kill you. Gods. You've got these things called ascendants, where they're not quite gods, but they'll still kill you. You got other races that are kind of like orcs, but they're ancient and like crazy and like there's no way to properly explain them without spoilers. You got a race of ancient undead people who decided to stay alive forever because of spite. You got Warrens, which is this crazy magic system where all of these different powers come from. And no, I don't know what any of them mean. I have not a clue. Don't ask me. It's a crazy series that is filled with some bleak stuff. This series is dark. It has a lot of dark moments. There are going to be several times in the series where I'm going to say, trigger warning. All right? If you are someone who is sensitive to violence against anyone, don't read this series. Because this does not hold back. There is violence against children. There is violence against men. There is violence against women. There is indiscriminate violence in this series, all right? So if you are not into those things, do not read this series. Having said that, there's also this incredible comedic undertone that Erickson writes throughout this series where you're gonna laugh, all right? The dude manages to balance the incredible darkness with some incredibly light and heartfelt moments. And you gotta just trust that all of this is leading to a certain point. And if you can somehow guess where this series is going, I would genuinely be surprised, because even in the final book, I could not tell you where this series was going. And I think that's one of the best parts of this series. This series is a mystery. It is a puzzle to be solved. And it's something to be experienced. So, if there's seriously any suggestion I can give, it's this. Take your time and trust the author. There will be answers, I promise you. Those answers may just be very far down the road. Do not let the just absolute girth of this series intimidate you. They are fun reads for the most part. I think you're going to genuinely enjoy yourself for the most part. There are some hard parts. Not going to pretend they aren't. There are some confusing parts. Not going to pretend they aren't. There are some dense parts. Not going to pretend there aren't. But if you are someone who wants something different from fantasy, you want to be challenged, you want to feel like, you know, the author really respects you as a reader, really respects, you know, themes and ideas and exploring different philosophical avenues while introducing you to a variety of just wonderfully written characters in a world that rivals even J.R.R. Tolkien's own, then Malazan might just be for you. But I wanted to give the warning because this series intimidates a lot of people. The first book does not reflect the rest of the series. It does get easier. You just have to keep going. And if you decide to read this series, all I can say is this. Witness. You are about to read one of the greatest fantasy series of all time.